Hi everyone, and welcome to Billy Fitzgerald Golf. And today I want to talk about how to load certain angles in your body and in your hand and your arm, so we get a little bit more distance out of your shot. So we've got to load these angles and able to unload them into the golf ball. So the most similar thing I can think of is throwing a ball. So when I throw a ball, I've got my wrist that I'm loading. As my arm goes back, it loads. As my arm goes back even further, it'll load my scapula in my back. And again, then I'll release everything towards the target. So there's a number of things that are loading and unloading when I throw a ball, much like the golf swing. So we'll start with your wrist. So when you look at how your wrists are working and how my hand works in the swing, so my wrist loads and unloads through the ball, loads and unloads through the ball. If I put a club in my hand, what does the face look like? It loads, okay, so that face matches my spine angle. It's square to my plane line, so that face is square. It loads and unloads into the ball and can release, or my hand is throwing on the other side. So the face never, it twists very little, if anything, but it stays fairly square to our plane line. What it's not doing is opening, hold, and twist. So my arm isn't twisting. My hand is loading. Okay, so that's the first angle we want to talk about. The next one is how my arm works. Okay, so my arm and my scapula are connected. So when my arm swings, I'm going to load the scapula. When I swing back, my wrist loads, and as my arm works this way, just like I would throw, as my arm works in its shoulder socket, it loads my scapula, which actually pulls my shoulder back a little more. So again, I've got a little more shoulder turn. I've got my wrist loaded. I've got my arm loaded, and we're ready to go into impact or into transition. So again, it's important that we feel these things, and how my wrist, I can certainly feel how my body would load and load those angles versus, let's say, if I just turn and lift my arms. See, from there, I don't really feel anything that I can load and unload. And I see that a whole bunch is just a turn and lift, rather than feeling like my wrist is loading, now my arm is loading, which is going to pull my shoulder back, and it's going to pull my scapula back. Okay, so you're loading and unloading that scapula as well. So I'm going to go into a swing and just show you what it looks like at the very top or transition of the swing. So again, very slowly, if I would swing back, my wrist is loading, my arm is loading. So now as I swing down and come back down into the ball, I can feel all of that release into the ball. So there's a lot of power and there's a lot of speed that's going to be generated from loading those angles. So again, think of it like if I were going to throw a ball, what's going to happen now? So as I load this angle and I load my arm, right, what starts to happen? I start to step, and as I push away and throw, all those angles and everything I just loaded are releasing. Same in the golf swing. If I load my wrists, I load my shoulder, I transition, push back, and everything is unloading into the ball. So my wrist loads, my right arm and scapula loads. As I transition and push back, the club gets in front of me and everything unloads into the ball. So again, we're going to load the wrists, load the scapula, and everything unloads into the ball. So again, if you're not feeling these angles, I think you're really missing out on some critical speed and these critical angles that can really control the face. It can control how you, again, load the club. You can load certain parts of your body and get that little extra distance that you're looking for. Hi everyone, like and subscribe to my channel, Billy Fitzgerald Golf, for all tips on golf. If you'd like a live lesson or want to send me a message, visit me at billyfitzgeraldgolf.com.